microphone, and he'll give you the chance to ask your question, and then we'll ask the presenters today. Duncan, we've already got one on the left-hand side. We'll ask the presenters today if they would stand and answer, and hopefully we'll get the audio-visual right, and you'll be able to hear the answer, but if not, I'll repeat it for everybody to hear, because we want this to be as open and transparent as it can be. So if you could state your name and affiliation, as in your company or where you come from, and then ask your question. And tell me who you'd like to ask your question of. That would be useful.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry. Yes, my name is Isa Gulet. I am originally from Somalia, actually. I'm a data scientist with experience of well and drilling. I just came today and very, very excited, you guys, when you find it for us, that at least I can have the opportunity to analyze this. But as you know, in Somalia we have a lot of trouble at this time that you were exploring, and also today. And people are dying every day because of poverty, because of criminals in the power at this stage, and also because of the terrorists.
Excuse
Do
me,
you think...
You have your question, please.
Yes. Do you think that Somalia with oil can help, while the people who are in power today, who are the criminals, like from President Formaggio, can help and help us to make Somalia peace? Or you are just creating problems, because this will be a problem.
Thank you.
I'm telling you.
Thank you.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Can I have a proper question, please? So, gentlemen, just here. Your name and affiliation, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the name is Richard Headley, and I work for an American oil company called Anadarko, and you may have heard of us because we've had a lot of success further south in Mozambique. My question is a question I'd like to address to Dr. Van Meurs, please, about the contract terms. Could you please say some words about the duration of the licenses and whether they're going to be split into periods and the duration of each of the periods? And then second question would be, is there an anticipation that there will be a minimum work program associated with each of the licenses? Thank you.
Yes. I think it's back here, I guess.
Yeah.
Do I need to?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yes. Yes. The phases is first starts with an exploration phase. The exploration period is 8 years, split in the first phase of 4 years, then 2 years plus 2 years. If at any time during the exploration you find something and you appraise, you get an appraisal period, and then you submit your development plan. Once the development plan is approved, you have another 25 years for production. That 25 years for production can be renewed for another 10 years. So I think the overall length of the deal is actually quite attractive compared to most countries in the world. As far as work obligation is concerned, we expect you to drill 1 well in each of the 3 exploration phases. And the minimum depth of the well we expect to be 4,500 meters below midline.
Thank you. Do you have any more questions? Do you have a question at the back?
Thank you very much. This is just a quick question for Dr. Batra. It's could be my lack of understanding what you presented. There was an element that the royalty was going from 0 to 35% if you add both the volume and the price together at the initial side of the presentation. But then when you went through the exercise of showing a low price and high price, or low volume, high volume, from the corporate point of view, the royalty was just moving from 15 to 14%. So maybe in the slides that you presented, so maybe if you...
Yes. Let me explain the royalty for oil again. As I said, the royalty for gas will be less than the royalty for oil. As we saw from the presentation, there are gas possibilities and oil possibilities. But for oil, the royalty is based on 2 factors. two sliding scales. These are linear sliding scales. And the scale, you have to add up the two scales. So the first scale goes from 5% to 20%, and that goes from 20,000 barrels a day minimum. So if you are below 20,000 barrels a day minimum, if you are below that level, the royalty is 5%. If the production is over 200,000 barrels a day, and I'm grateful to see that we have all kinds of possibilities for production over 200,000 barrels a day, then the royalty based on production will be 20%. Now, as the field declines, of course, the royalty will decline again. So as the field declines, it will decline with the production. On top of that, additionally to the 5 to 20%, there is a royalty based on the oil price between $40 and $110. Below $40, zero. So if you have a small field, less than 20,000 barrels a day, and the oil price is $40, all you pay is 5%. 5% plus 0%. Now, if the price goes up to $110 per barrel, then the royalty for oil at that price level for that month becomes 15%. So if you add up, if you have a very big field, if you have the 200,000 barrels a day field during maximum production, and the oil price happens to be $110 a barrel in that month, then for that month you pay 35% royalty. So that is how the royalty scale works. If the oil price goes down again, then the royalty automatically slides down again. So it is not that you go up to a level and then you stick there. So the royalty goes up and down every month with the level of production and the price. Is that a better explanation?
Yes. So just a quick question was that there was one exercise you showed with the 20 million barrels and the $90, and it was having the royalty to be around 14%.
No, that is the whole government take. I had a slide with the whole government take. The government take adds up the following components. The government take.
I'm not listening. This is a criminal government.
Okay.
And the criminal government.
No, it's not a criminal government. It's not a criminal government.
Has to be stopped first. Listen, don't touch me. It has to be stopped. President Formaggio is a criminal, and he's a criminal, and he wants to criminalize you. The President Formaggio is killing his own people every day, and you are supporting him to give him a power to kill more Somali people. We will not accept that. We will not accept that. You are promoting war in our country. You are promoting war. I don't mind to leave, sir, but you are promoting war between us by inviting criminals in this conference. Don't touch. Okay? Get out. I don't mind to leave.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much.
I'm telling you, this will never work. This will never ever work. Don't touch me, yeah? Don't touch me, okay? This will never work, criminals.
Right,
President
well, thank
is
you
a
very
criminal,
much,
and you
Dr.
are
Van Meer.
encouraging a fucking criminal.
So hopefully that answered your question about the fiscal terms. The important thing about being an open bid round is that the way that the economic model is built will be on the website. So you can take all of these factors, build a model, which is the way that I imagine that you will do it, and then you'll be able to test it to your own sensitivities. But all the input parameters will all be available on the website, so it should be perfectly clear for everybody and equal for everybody exactly what the parameters are. And the most remarkable thing, of course, as Dr. Van Meer has said, is that there's the R factor is the thing that one will bid on at the time of the bidding round, which is the most remarkably simple system that I've ever seen, and I think it's perfect for for what Somalia needs. So I think we've got time for one more question over here, perhaps two, but one over here. The gentleman who's had his hand up for a bit.
Thank you very much. Well done, firstly, for an excellent series of presentations and a great day today. I would really...
Could you say your name and affiliation?
So my name's Omar Ahmed, Africa Legal Risk. I'm a Somali lawyer.
Okay.
I'd really be interested to hear from our Somali colleagues. The federal government today have done a great job pulling this together with Spectrum. Given the timeline it's been identified for completion of the PSAs and come to terms, I'd very much, and I think investors in the room would very much like to hear what the federal government of Somalia's position is in terms of passing and finalising the required legislation. So can we get possibly a timeline from Parliament, if possible, as to when we may have this legislation completed, because it's critical?
Okay, thank you. That's an excellent question. I'd like to ask Engineer Karat if you would make a comment on that point, or perhaps the Minister.
The rightful honourable is here. He's from the
okay.
So
that's even better.
Better
yeah.
suited to us.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Somebody interpret.
aad u mahadsantihiin. waxaan u mahadcelinayaa sida wanaagsan hawsha ay u socoto oo loo agaasimay. aadaan ugu mahadcelinaya, waana ku faraxsanahay. waxaa laga hadlay sharciga hadda gacanta lagu hayaa baarlamaanka horyeela. akhrintii koowaad uu maray, waxaa u dhiman 2 akhrin kale.
I don't know if you can hear me. I think I'll be loud enough. The honourable is thankful again. Yes, of course, he's happy to be here. So the law or the amendments of the law is in the Parliament.
waa mahadsantiin. waxaan rabnaa sideedaba hadda barnaamijka intana lagu soo jeedinayo waa arkaynay. wax aad u qiimo badan oo ah in la fahmana muhiim waay. marka annaga waxaan qaambasinaya wixii sharciyad ah, waana kala shaqeyn doonaa insha allah haddii leeyahay. xukuumadda sharciga gacantaan ku haynaa. kan fadhiga dambe baarlamaanka markuu hadda furmo oo soo noqdana shaqadaas gacantaan ku qabanin haddii leeyahay. waan mahadsantiin.
Thank you.
Yeah, what has been presented here was historic. It's something great. The bill is in the Parliament, and as soon as the Parliament is adjourned, the bill will be passed. And I thank you for participating.
Okay, I've got time for just one more talk. I'm so sorry. I think there's one more question over here.
Right, thank you very much. My question is for the Minister, and I would like to put it to him in Somali language for the benefit of our audience back home who are very interested in this gathering today.
Okay.
Thanks for the opportunity. By the way, my name is Abdi Hafid. I'm on behalf of University of Somali Television. And Sa'adas Wazir, waxaan jeclahay inaan ku weydiiyo ummadda Soomaaliyeedna afkooda hooyo aad ugu sheegtid, maadaama aysan garanaynin luqadda halkan looga hadlayo in badan oo ka mid a waxa laga hadlayana ay tahay hantidooda iyo dhaqaalahooda mustaqbalka. shirkan maanta halkan lagu qabtay suuqa waxaa la isla dhex marayay in ay tahay shir ummadda Soomaaliyeed hantideeda lagu dhacayo. maxaad ummadda Soomaaliyeed u sheegaysaa shirkan looga soo baxay oo dantooda ku jirto hantidoodana lagu waalidiinayo? arrintaas af Soomaaliga loogu sheeg. waxaan jecelahay inaad maxay ummadda Soomaaliyeed ka qaybsato. soo mahadsan.
waan basantahay Cabdilxafiid iyo Cabdilxafiid miya? Okay, su-aashaada waa su-aal aada muhiim u ah. marar badanna waraysi aan kaa dhageystay waxaan dareemayay inaad focus garaynaysid wadaniyadda iyo
ilaalinta shacabka Soomaaliyeed iyo hantidooda aad ugu mahadsantahay arrintaas waa run shirkan horta waxaan ku baaqnay anagoo joogna South Africa sanadkii hore November waxaan ballan qaadnay inaan soo bandhigayno macluumaad laga ururiyay badda Soomaaliya 2 jeer 2013 laga bilaabo ilaa 2015 macluumaadkaas maanta ugu horeysa oo la soo daafo laakiin dad fara badan waxay yiraahdeen shirkan wuxuu noqon doonaa shir lagu xaraashayo hantida ummadda Soomaaliyeed dhammaan ummadda Soomaaliyeed waxay maanta markhaati ka noqonaysaa in aysan jirin wax xaraasha wax contract oo markan lagu baxshay kaliya waxay ahayd in adduunka aan u soo bandhigno daatadii laga ururiyay Soomaaliya oo ahayd intiina ku aragteen wax xaraash kama dhicin ummadda Soomaaliyeed xaraashi maayo sida gudoomiyaha ku-xigeenka baarlamaanka uu sheegay wax kasta tallaabo kasta aan qaadayno waxay ku saleysan doontaa sharciga batroolka iyo sharciyada waddanka u dhigan iyadoo aan waxaas dhamaystirnayna tallaabo la qaadi doono ma jirto mar dhowr jeer oo u sheegnay ummadda Soomaaliyeed hantidooda gacan aamin ku jirta dawladdan hadda joogtahay dawlad xaraash ma aha madaxweynaheedan xaraash ma aha ra'iisul wasaaraheedan xaraash ma aha baarlamaankeedan xaraash ma aha guud ahaan inta mas'uuliyiinta oo joogtana xaraash ma aha waxaan rabnaa in ummadda Soomaaliyeed ay ogaato wax kasta oo qabanayno sharciyo iyo waxaan ku qabanaynaa iyo xeerarka waddanka u dhigan waxaan rabaa oo kale inaan meesha su'aashaada waxay aan ka gudbo marar badan social media waxaa lagu sheegaa marka badda Soomaaliya laga hadlayo in ay lagu ekaysiyo 12 nautical mile ama 12 nautical mile sida maanta aad ka arkayseen warbixintii la sameeyey waxaa la baaray in ka badan 200 kilomitir badeena meesha waxay ka saaraysaa dadka dhahayo badda Soomaaliyeed 12 nautical mile bas lagu ekaysiyo ma aha badeena inta ay leegtaan xaquna aan baarnayna annagana iska waana baarnayna ummadda Soomaaliyeed iska khayraadkeedana waa looga faa'iideynaa insha Allah ta'ala
Just the fact of that, Minister, waxaad tiri maanta wax la xaraashayay wax contract oo halkaan laga saxiixay ma jirto ma laga yaabaa mustaqbalka dhow inaad wax saxiixdaan ummadda Soomaaliyeed iyo
shakil aan Soomaaliya way gaari doontaa heer ay saxiixato contract laakiin waxay ku xiran tahay sharciyada baarlamaanka yaalla inay naga ogolaadaan
Well, thank you very much, Minister. I think we'll draw it to a close on the Q&A front. I know you've got some...
Somebody should translate what the Minister said for the best for the benefit of the...
What do you think?
Yes, please.
Do you think you can summarise it in a nutshell? It all sounded good, so...
You're putting me on the spot all the time there. Well, we cannot do direct translation, and it's perhaps maybe some of the reasons why we still have the resource sharing agreement that was signed by Daba in Somalia. So I'll give you the headlines. What the minister was asked, how could you, and please correct me if I
Oh boy, I would.
Yeah. and we're going to be transparent. That's why everything's live. Just so that everyone knows, everything is live streaming. So the whole Somali population, wherever they're watching this, nothing called harash in here. So what the minister was asked was whether we can assign contract, and whether we can assign contract before all the regulatory framework and legal framework is in place. And what the minister forcefully stated is that, as the rightful deputy speaker has said, no contract will be signed unless all regulatory framework is in place, period. All we've done today is to present the data, which is, it is massive opportunity for Somalia, massive opportunity for the investors here who are willing to invest. And then we could this is a long-term investment. The exploration alone, as the Dr. Vermeer said, is going to take minimum 4 years to drill a single well, maximum 8 years. After 8 years, we have another maybe 4 years of appraisal. The only time we can expect a so-called selling of oil is realistically after 12 years. So if someone for political reason is not in agreement with this government or with us, we might not be even around after 12 years.
Thank you very much. That's a very good suggestion. I appreciate the translation. Okay, well, so I've just got one thing to announce before I can hand over to Graham Mayhew, who's going to do the closing comments on this morning. And that is that this is the start of a process. I think, as Engineer Karar said, that on the website there's going to be more information, there's going to be consultation, clarifications and so forth. And the whole process of that is set out so that it's open and transparent. That we have two, at the moment we have two roadshow destinations lined up for the next few months. We hope to be in Istanbul on the next stage of this in late March, so that will be in Turkey, and then also in Houston in early May. So there will be two more chances to meet with the delegation from Somalia Ministry.
Are you closing the questions?
Sorry?
Is the questions closed?
Yes, I'm afraid they are, but I've got hope for you. Hang on just a second. So there's two chances to meet with the delegations. One's in Istanbul and the other is in Houston. Istanbul late March, Houston early May. It's also a lunch out here, which is probably a bit easier, where we'll all have a chance to network and talk amongst each other, and I'm sure you'll have a chance to talk to the Somalian delegates, or Karina, or Dr. Amiz, while we're having some lunch today outside. So we'll move on to that. I just want to close out the meeting. And to do that, I'm going to use another prop.
For clarification.
That's kind of cheating, but yes, go on.
Yeah. I just want to ask.
Do you want to introduce yourself as to who you are?
No, my name is Hassan Abdinasir. I'm from Has Petroleum. I just want to ask, in the PSA, is there any emphasis or anything for the local companies operating or local Somali origin companies or local companies? Is there any?
Do you want to answer that? All right, very last question.
Yeah.
Thank you for crowbarring that in.
No, he can answer.
That's a good question.
I think Dr. Morris will do it for Somalia.
Okay. All right, very briefly.
Yes, the contract contains significant obligations to hire with priority Somali citizens, to contract with priority Somali businesses, and to purchase with priority Somali goods. Because it is not just the revenues that go to government that are important, it is also the money that goes directly into the economy of Somalia that is very important, and the contract provides very significantly for it.
So these details are going to be available on the website. You'll be able to trawl through and look at the details of it. But in general, activity means jobs, means the economy does well. It's just good for everybody, and it's really exciting to be here all together, sharing this moment together at the start. And so just to draw the morning's proceedings to a close, Graham Mayhew, who's our Executive Vice President for Africa. He was the designer, architect of the Somalian acquisition of 2D data that we undertook, that Spectrum undertook. So this was Graham's project, and he would just like to make a few last comments, and then perhaps you'll join us for some light refreshments and lunch in the room that's just adjacent to us on my right and on your left. Graham, please.
Thank you, Neil. I do realise at the moment I have to balance your hunger against my desire to talk, but I would like to make a few comments here as we close out the day. And I think one of the key things that stuck in my mind was the comment that was maybe repeated a few times, that this is a great day for Somalia. And I think that is definitely a certainty. It's a milestone in the country's progress forward. And it did start me thinking, well, to a point that somebody else said, this is where things begin. And I thought, well, that's quite momentous in the sense that we've been working with the ministry now. I think John Hall, my colleague here, has probably been, and he'll probably take me up on this, probably at least 8 years. We've been had the pleasure and privilege of working with the ministry, and therefore in some ways it's quite tough to realise that you've been working 8 years just to get to the start. But having reached this point, we realised that much of what we've done is a process of facilitating the way forward and working with an excellent partner to really come to this day when Somalia can start to truly exploit its natural resources and find a way forward to develop them in partnership with investors and explorers. And I think one thing I would like to do is really commend to you the ministry team who we've worked with over the years. We've looked at some of the challenges, and we as Spectrum have tried to support the ministry in all their endeavours. And it's really very satisfying and fulfilling to see today all the hard work that they put in to reach where we are now, where a new phase of Somalia's exploration starts today. So a lot of hard work has been done to reach this point. And again, I would commend to any investors or explorers here that you will have a fantastic team to work with going forward, and they've put a huge amount of time and effort into putting all this framework together, to looking at the various elements of the legislation, the framework, the fiscal terms, and really building their own capacity to move forward. So that is a remarkable achievement through some of the challenges that have been there over the years. And certainly my thanks go to the Minister, to Kara, to Iram, and all the other members of the ministry team who helped us reach this day, and we certainly wish you all the best going forward from this point in time. Having said that, just to recap a little bit on the presentations that we've had today. Obviously at the beginning, the Deputy Speaker has really given the mandate for this whole process to move forward. The starting gun has been fired, and that mandate from the federal government to move forward and the federal states has moved things forward. The Minister, we greatly appreciate giving us the setting for how this process will move forward. And then to Kara for really outlining the structure of the bidding process, the tender protocol. And I think you can see here that we are starting to see the framework that they've been putting together to enable this process to move forward, coming together. And then certainly not a minor factor in all this, Dr. Mers outlining the fiscal terms, so I can see from that how much work has been put into defining a framework that is simple but will allow explorers and investors to move forward and invest in Somalia. And then finally the presentation on prospectivity, and I guess without that piece all the rest is just our thinking and designing a framework. If you don't have the prospectivity or the scope of opportunity, then all that is not going to mean very much. But I think, as you've seen from the data examples, the huge diversity of exploration opportunities, play types. Fortunately, Somalia is blessed with a very long coastline, and with a very long coastline brings a large number of very significant basins. So looked at in that context and in terms of risk, there is a huge set of opportunities and play types for companies to explore. And I think the work we've done so far, and I think Queen had 30 billion barrels up there. 30 billion barrels is in there. It's up to you guys to use your expertise and money to go and find it. But we certainly believe it is there. So on that note, if you could put your hands together and thank all the speakers for their presentations today, I'm sure that will be great. On that note, if I can hand over to you, and he will formally close out the event today.
Okay, well, yes, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for staying. Thank you for participating in the Q&A. I think we got a lot out of that. And if you care to join us now for